Life is a highway. It's full of twists, turns, and complex issues to try and navigate. Welcome to Retire the Right Way with Anthony Wright of Retirement Specialty Group. Each week, you'll hear us discuss the pitfalls and common investing mistakes we see people make. We'll also educate you about the financial world and encourage you to think about solutions to some of the problems and question marks you might face in your own financial life. So let's get on the right road to retirement with Anthony Wright here on Retire the Right Way.
Well, hello and welcome into the program. This is Retire the Right Way. I'm your host, Marc, Killian, alongside Anthony Wright, my co-host here on the program each and every week. Anthony is the founder and the CEO at Retirement Specialty Group, serving us from the Knoxville to Chattanooga areas. Whether you're in Sparta, Crossville, Knoxville, or Chattanooga, Anthony and the team can certainly help you out at Retirement Specialty Group. You can find them online at retirementspecialtygroup.com. That's retirementspecialtygroup.com. And you can always just give them a jingle at 888-557-1993. That's 888-557-1993. What happens when you call that number? Well, you go ahead and you leave your contact information, and the team will get right back with you and get you set up on the calendar for a time that's convenient for you to come in and talk with Anthony and the whole team at Retirement Specialty Group. They got a great group of folks there that can certainly help you out on your way towards retirement. And again, that's 888-557-1993. Anthony, buddy, welcome in. How are you today?
Man, great to be with you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing very well and hanging in there so far this week. Hope that you are having a good week as well.
Having a fantastic week. What about yourself? Have you had a good week?
Oh yeah, man. It's been pretty good overall. You know, you can't complain, and if you do, no one's going to listen, right?
Are you getting ready for the Super Bowl? That's what I want to know.
Well, the jury's still out. We'll see, because there's one team that I just, like most of America, am sick of seeing in the Super Bowl.
Oh, we all know it's the Patriots. Let's rock on.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I'm so tired of seeing those guys there. But hey, I mean, I guess sometimes you gotta tip your hat to excellence, right? So
you know what I said? You know what my wife said to me when I said that to her? I said, I just want anybody besides the Patriots. And she said, why? And I said, because I'm sick of seeing them in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And she said, well, then somebody else needs to be better than them, then beat them. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom.
I was like, okay.
That's the bottom line. The hoodie knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got that right.
Well, hopefully, three of the teams that played this weekend, that are playing this weekend, I guess I should say, is the first time they may get a chance to get to the Super Bowl. So hopefully they don't have any false hope about their goals. But that's what we're going to talk about here on the program, is false hope, to start our retirement segment.
Nice. I like how you plug that in there.
Yeah, you like that segue? Yeah.
I like that.
That's why I get paid the medium dollars. So listen, some people are clinging to ideas that, can give them a false sense of hope about their retirement. I tell you what, we'll use, right now, we'll just go ahead and use a really topical one. That's the market, right? We're up over 25,000 now on the Dow. And I think people can get lured into a false sense of hope that can kind of go, we'll start even with that one. Just say, look, yes, it's doing great. And yes, you want to take advantage of it. And yes, you want to make sure that you're keeping up with inflation and outpacing inflation and so on and so forth. But you also got to be smart to realize that this train cannot run forever.
Well, that's very true. I mean, look, what's the old saying that our grandmother always taught? What goes up must come down, right?
Right.
And what goes down must come up. So, I mean, it works in reverse, just like it works in forward. But you are 100% correct. And those that are listening today, if you're not careful, you'll be guilty of the same thing. Everybody has a tendency to want to jump on the stock market train, if you would, and wow, it's on fire. And listen, I've talked to people all week long, and I have to tell you, though, Mark, there's I don't even know what the right word is. There's a feeling out there. I don't know the right word to use, but this week, and a lot of the clients that I've spoke with, I guess maybe the right word is there's a concern that because the market's been on such a run that it's getting ready to tank.
Well, I think at this point, people are just going, when is this thing going to drop? I mean, because as you said, I mean, there's the historical data, right? We have all that historical data. And of course, we would be remiss to not say, look, no one can predict this thing, obviously, because no one would predict that it's now on basically right at around a 10-year run. I mean, 07, 08 into 09 a little bit was where the big turn down was that we had the last time. And so now that we're into 18, it's approaching that 9.5, 10-year run, and I don't think anybody expected one to run this long or this high. So I think you have people on both sides of the coin going, yeah, man, let me stay in this joker because I want to get all I can get out of it, and that's great, but be smart. And then you have people on the other side going, I'm really, really worried because at what point do I need to start pulling stuff off the table because this thing has got to fall? You would think, even if we're not talking a crash, right, Anthony? Even if we're just talking like a pullback, like 15, 20, 25%.
Right. And you got to keep in mind, too, Mark, that, what is the main objective of the stock market? The main objective is that you buy low.
To drive people insane.
And you sell high. Yeah, drive people insane, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, everybody knows, and it's a general senses out there that you buy low and you sell high. Well, where is it right now? You just said
it's high,
it's high, and it's almost a 10-year high. So why, if the objective is buy low, sell high, why be greedy and continue to just push your luck and push your luck and push your luck? Now, I'm not anti-stock market, and I want everybody to understand that. So we use the rule of 100. So I understand outpacing inflation, and I understand getting some of the gains of the market, but there's a time in your life, Mark, when you're retired, and it's really more about protecting your income than it is trying to earn more. As long as we're outpacing inflation and as long as we're earning a decent interest rate, then I'm okay using the rule of 100. So that is 100 minus your age. So if you're 70 years old, that means that 30% is all we want to see in the market. That way, if we have a correction, like you just said, maybe it's 15, maybe there's a 20% pullback. If you really look at the charts and you listen to these guys on television, Mad Money, and you listen to all these money people on TV, they're talking about the largest crash in history is coming. And if you could see the charts, and it's hard to explain that on the radio and on the airways, but if you could really look at a 20-year history of the stock market, you can see that it broke through resistance about 8 years ago, and I mean, it's just never slowed down. So that means that we're teeter-tottering any day on a huge pullback. Well, over the 20-year period, each time it pulled back 50%. So from 2008 until now, we're up about 305%. Well, what's half of that? Half of that is 150% pullback.
Right.
So history does repeat itself, and if we have a 50% pullback, that's 150% pullback. People cannot withstand that.
No, it's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the concern that's out there this week from folks that's been coming through our offices.
Well, it's the false hope, right? It's what I started the segment with.
It is. Yeah.
And I think that's going to really be our topic today, folks. We're going to talk about some things that just be careful of, not to give ourselves some false hope. And hey, look, I mean, we'd be remiss to not say you certainly want to, as Anthony has just pointed out, you certainly want to be in the market and be taking advantage of the run that has been going on, but you want to be smart. If you were late to the party, jumping in and buying some things, obviously it's at a high, not the right thing to do because you're buying really on the high side. So you're doing the emotional opposite of what we should do, which is, buy low and sell high. But right now, if you're buying into the market, you're buying on the high side. And of course, you also want to make sure that you're keeping up with inflation, the things that we've mentioned, but you want to be ready and prepared, especially if your time horizon for retirement is nearing less than, I would say, good, 10 years or so, less than 10 years, because you can't afford to recover that if you do have a major problem. We have that tendency, Anthony, to our brains are really good that way when it comes to medical procedures, pain, heartbreak, whatever you want to call it. We're really good at kind of forgetting those things over time. And I think that we've got ourselves into a bit of false hope with the market the way that it is. and forgetting about 07, 08, 08, 09, and 2000 and 2001, so we tend to kind of go, I forgot all about that. So we want to make sure we're doing the right things. And I think right now we're going to take a break here. It'd be a good time for you just to go ahead and make an offer for the folks.
Well, we're really passionate about our community being well prepared for retirement here, Mark, and we want to extend an opportunity to the listeners right now that will help them be sure that they're well prepared. So what I'm doing is I'm offering a complimentary financial review to those listeners today. And for those that are listening, if you call in the next 15 minutes and you have at least $100,000 saved for retirement, I'm not a miracle worker, can't do something without nothing. So if you've at least got $100,000 saved for retirement, then we will talk about your retirement income needs, what that income is going to come from, how you'll outpace inflation, pay as little as you possibly have to in taxes. Make sure that you don't outlive your money. Now, you might say, I don't really have to call in the next 15 minutes. And yes, that's true. You could probably take care of it next week or maybe next month. But here's the deal. We've been coaching people on retirement planning for a decade now. And we've learned that it's really easy to procrastinate and get distracted and put things off. I've learned over the past decade dealing with people, that's the number one problem. They procrastinate, they get distracted, they put it off. So if you don't start the process now, today, there's a very good chance that you're not going to do it at all. So the first coaching that we're going to give to you is to encourage you to take that first step right now. I mean, Mark, imagine if Peyton Manning never took the first step and picked up a football. So you got to take the first step now. So for almost everybody listening, that's going to be the hardest part, is to pick up the phone and take action now. From there, it's really not a painful process. It's really pretty simple. Believe it or not, I'm a fairly nice, easy guy to sit down and talk to. So it's pretty easy past that. So if you're ready to finally get a plan in place, give me a call right now.
That number again, 888-557-1993 to take advantage of the opportunity. Get on the calendar, come in and talk with Anthony and the team at Retirement Specialty Group. 888-557-1993 to get your financial GPS underway. There's much more to come today on the program. We're going to continue talking about some things to look out for to not give us false hope right here on Retire the Right Way.
What is the one thing more precious than gold, cannot be bought or sold, and that we all wish to have more of? Did you guess time? If so, that's correct. Time, and it is fleeting. So let's not let time stand in our way. Pick up the phone and call Anthony Wright at Retirement Specialty Group today and make sure your retirement plans will be ready and waiting right on time. Call 888-557-1993. That's 888-557-1993. Hey y'all, Miss Lita here again. Grab your smartphone and text the letters RSG to 555-888, and that will get you in contact with the fine folks at Retirement Specialty Group. When you text that number, a web page will pop up on your phone, and all you have to do is type in your information. Don't worry, it's totally secure, and just like that, the team at Retirement Specialty Group will send you out a free booklet or get you registered for their next seminar in your area. So go ahead, give it a try, and text RSG to 555-888. If you have a little trouble, you can always grab one of those grandkids. They got lightning fast thumbs, don't they?
We all want to walk the right path through life, but every so often we all need a little guidance along the way. Sometimes the hardest part is just asking for help. That's where we come in. Now, back to the show.
Well, you're back here with us on Retire the Right Way. We're into the second quarter, if you will, for all you football fans out there that are looking forward to the afternoon games. Make sure you stay right here with us on Retire the Right Way. We'll get you ready in time for those afternoon football games. But Anthony is the founder and the CEO at Retirement Specialty Group. And of course, if you are a pre-retiree or a retiree, you got questions about retirement, the team at Retirement Specialty Group can certainly help you along your path towards retirement. 888-557-1993 is the number to call to get yourself on the calendar for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. And don't forget, you can text as well if you'd like to just kind of start nice and easy. Just text the letters RSG to 555-888 on your smartphone. That is RSG to 555-888 on your smartphone, and you'll get a text message back. Fill that out, and the team will get you on the calendar for a time that is convenient for you. So, Anthony, let's get back to our false hope conversation. Things to look out for that can kind of lure us into this, false sense of hope that things are maybe a little bit better than we think they are. And hey, you may find out that they're actually good, or they're actually better than you thought they were. But you want to be careful that you're not in the wrong mindset. And speaking of that, let's talk about that mindset that when we're ready to retire, that we have to have a certain number. There's a lot of folks that still do that. If my neighbor's at 1.5 million and he's retiring and I'm not at 1.5, so I can't. Things like that. You got to be careful with that.
You do have to be careful with that. And years ago, it was 4%. Once I have saved enough, and then that times 4%. So, using your analogy, say $1 million times 4%, so $40,000 a year.
Right. That's what you're going to pull out for however many X amount of years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah, that used to be the magic number, but anymore, that's just not true. And, you just have to get with a professional. You just got to sit down with somebody like us here at Retirement Specialty Group. You've got to sit down and work on a plan and get that put together. And I've got clients retired right now with $300,000 or $400,000.
Well, I was going to say your lifestyle might not dictate that you need 1.5 million.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about your lifestyle. It's all about what you're going to do. Then you have to figure in your life expectancy. And, of course, there's no way anybody can predict that. But that's what some of the software packages and some of the fancy, expensive software models that we have, they kind of do an average, if you would. I think right now the average lifespan, is 72. I think it is. Might be 74.
I think they've moved it up. If you're talking about the actuary tables, I think now it's 78 for men and 84.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, and then I think it's 84 for women.
Wow.
Yeah.
So medicine has really improved over the years. But yeah, that's, stuff like that. I mean, obviously we can never predict, nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But what we need to do is we need to develop a plan and work that plan. It's no longer 4% of what you have in there. And then on top of all that, you still have all the estate planning and you have all the taxes and you have, there's just a lot of things that go into retirement. And honestly, if you kind of look at things, it's about the first 10 years you're retired, you're kind of in go mode.
Oh yeah, man. You're having fun. You should enjoy it, right?
Oh man, you're having fun. And then after 10 years, you're kind of like, well, I'm 10 years older.
And maybe you're starting to get a little more tired. Have the grandkids come see you versus you go see them.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's true though. You got to be careful. You don't just strive to hit a certain number and make that your number. And it's not that way anymore. I've got clients with $2 million portfolios and above, and I've got clients with 300,000 portfolio. It's all
right.
over the board.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's all about your lifestyle, as we just said. You're listening to Retire the Right Way, 888-557-1993. We're talking about not getting ourselves into a false sense of hope when it comes to retirement, that things are worse than we feared or better than we feared, just depending on your vantage point, your viewpoint. 888-557-1993. Of course, we started off by talking about the market a little bit earlier on in the program. If you missed that, then we're continuing on with the conversation saying, look, maybe that, a certain number that you have fixated on is not really the way to go. When you sit down and get that full GPS put together with Anthony and the team, you may find that you're in better shape than what you thought, or you may find you still have some work to do to reach that retirement goal. But I don't know that a number is necessarily the indicator that you're looking for. I don't need 1 million or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever the case is. Hey, will we all like to have 5? Sure. But it doesn't mean that you can't retire when you were hoping to, even if you're only at, 400,000 or 500,000 or whatever the case might be. What about, Anthony, the belief that your income needs are going to just somehow magically decrease once you retire? Now, that might have used to have been the case, but I think, as you just mentioned, we have those go-go years now, and of course, everything's more expensive. So when we retire, don't necessarily just assume that things are going to be cheaper, right?
No, that's probably the greatest false hope that I see come through the office, honestly, is,
Okay.
If we retire, then what are we going to do? We're just going to sit home and do nothing?
Be a
and then
couch tater, yeah. No.
Yeah, and then our income needs are not what they are now. And that is just simply probably the number one false hope that I see. And it just really isn't true because, as I just mentioned, that first 10 years of retirement, folks are in go-go mode. So they're going to go. And that, whether that's fishing, whether it's golfing, whether it's traveling, visiting the grandkids and kids, and they're in go mode. And honestly, that's a good 10 years to go do it, right?
Right, absolutely.
So, you've worked hard your whole life, but then, you just take your average age of 62 to 65. So if you retire at 62 or 65, well, 10 years, that puts you, 72 or 75. So at 72 and 75, look what all's changed over the past 10 years, right?
Oh, tons, yeah.
Tons. You got health issues. You've got, who knows what all has changed over the past 10 years. But I can assure you that somewhere around that 10, 11-year mark, when you're 10 years older, you kind of go in instead of a go mode, you kind of go in a mellow mood. They kind of go from go to somewhat slow go.
Right.
You can just see it in like what you said as we begin in the segment. You said, so now the grandkids come to us.
Right.
That is exactly verbatim what's happening, and I've even seen that with my own parents. And now it's like, this past Christmas, now it's like, well, what time's all the kids coming over? Well, I remember the day they used to come to our house, then they'd go to my brother's house, and then they go.
Right, exactly.
And not anymore. It's, so what time's everybody coming over?
Right. So you just want to, so you want to make sure that you
do
are not into that sense of feeling like, well, everything, and of course, as you just pointed out, there will come a time that maybe those income needs are a little bit lower in retirement, but don't fool yourself into thinking the early years are going to be that way, because you're going to want to get out and do things and enjoy yourself, and you want to make sure that you're planning accordingly for it, making sure that you're on the right track for that. Well, you're listening to Retire the Right Way. We're talking about false hope, things that we can get us into maybe a little bit of a sticky situation when it comes to retirement. That could be good or bad. In this case, maybe a little bit negative, thinking that our income needs are going to drastically decrease once we retire, because they may not. So you want to make sure that you're planning, you're budgeting accordingly. I know that's that evil B word no one likes, budgeting, but it is certainly a really important thing to do in retirement. And Anthony, with that, I think we'll go ahead and we'll make an offer for the folks that they'd like to get some more information. It's a good time to come in and sit down and talk with you.
All right, so for all you listeners listening, here's the deal. If you'll call me within the next 15 minutes, I'm going to custom design for you an easy to understand financial GPS review that will indicate to you what your needs of your full-blown financial plan are going to be. What are you paying in fees? Where are you at now, risk versus safe? Where are you headed? How are you going to get there? And guess what? There is no obligation or cost for the initial review to all the callers listening today that have at least $100,000 saved for retirement. Folks, not trying to be mean, okay? But I just can't do something with a goose egg. So I have to make sure you've got at least $100,000 saved, and then I can help you. Now, if you meet those qualifications, here is exactly what you can expect. So first and foremost, we'll run a fee report to help you untangle what it costs you to work with your current planner or your current financial advisor. We're going to show you how to protect your investments, keep more of your money in your accounts. Next, we're going to perform a tax analysis to show how you could possibly reduce your taxes and at the same time increase your cash flow. You got to love that one. Decrease taxes, increase your tax flow. Finally, we're going to create a customized lifetime income plan using proven strategies and techniques that will turbocharge your retirement income. Let me sum it up for you. In short, I'm going to take the guesswork out of your financial planning for you. So if you'll call me in the next 15 minutes, a comprehensive financial review is going to be yours for no obligation. So call now within 15 minutes.
And that number again was 888-557-1993, 888-557-1993. Take advantage of that great opportunity from Anthony Wright at Retirement Specialty Group. Get on the calendar, come in, talk with his team, and have a conversation about your specific, unique financial situation, and make sure that you are on the right track, the right road with that financial GPS from Anthony Wright and the team at Retirement Specialty Group in Knoxville, Chattanooga, Sparta, Crossville, and all points in between. There's much more to come today on Retire the Right Way. Stick around.
I have a plan. You've got a plan.
Do you have a plan to address inflation in future decades as the cost of everything continues to rise?
I have part of a plan.
What about long-term care? Do you have a plan for how you'll pay for assisted living or nursing home care if you need it? To get help with these questions and much more, call Anthony Wright today at 888-557-1993 for your free financial GPS and make sure you're on that right road to a successful retirement. That's 888-557-1993. Here's what you need to do right now. Call Anthony Wright of Retirement Specialty Group for your no-cost, no-obligation financial review. Anthony and his team are there to help guide you to and through retirement with his free financial GPS, and all you have to do for this complimentary review is call 888-557-1993 to get on Anthony's calendar and get started today. 888-557-1993 is the number to call. And with offices all over Tennessee, Anthony and his team make it easy to get started on the right road today. 888-557-1993. Remember, that's 888-557-1993. Ever wonder why we call them the Smokies? The smoke that rises from the Smoky Mountains isn't really smoke. It's similar to a mist. The vegetation in the Smokies traps and releases moisture that creates that amazing and beautiful smoking effect.
Well, you're back here with us on Retire the Right Way. Marc, Killian, and Anthony Wright. Anthony, of course, the founder and CEO at Retirement Specialty Group. I'm Marc Killian. I'm just your humble radio host, but we certainly appreciate you tuning into the program each and every week. Anthony and I have been on the air for a couple of years now, and certainly appreciate everyone listening, and I appreciate you doing the show with me, Anthony. It's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate doing it with you. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we try to, and hopefully we impart some wisdom.
Well, over the past 3-4 years now, 3-4 years now, we've helped a lot of people, and we've impacted a lot of lives, and that's all because of you helping me here. So I appreciate you doing the show with me and being my co-rider.
Yeah, your co-pilot. Well, I certainly appreciate that. That's good to hear. And look, if you have questions about retirement, look, that's really all the show is about. It's kind of an extenuation of the education that Anthony tries to provide, whether it's through his online, the videos and his online classes, his seminars, or his in-person classes, his seminars, whether it is you're coming in for a consultation, whatever the case is, it's kind of an extenuation. We talk about a lot of general subjects here on the radio program because we're talking to a wide audience. audience from Knoxville to Chattanooga and all points in between. So we want to make sure that we kind of keep it general and get you thinking about things in a certain direction. And then that's when you come in and really sit down and say, okay, you know what? I had questions about Social Security, or I was listening to you guys last week talk about my income needs in retirement. I was thinking about that, whatever the case might be. You get on the calendar with that phone number. You come in and get your financial GPS. That's Anthony's system that he has kind of devised to help get you to and through retirement. And you do that by calling 888-557-1993. That's 888-557-1993. You call, you leave your contact information, the team gets you on the calendar, and you come in and you sit down and you have a one-on-one chat about your situation. So don't feel, don't feel nervous, don't feel hesitant. Go ahead and call, get on the calendar, and find out. Hey, you may find out, and Anthony, you'll agree with this, I know you will, that you have people come in sometimes and they're doing a great job, and you and the team, you pat them on the back and you say, you're doing a great job, continue what you're doing. If you need us, call us, but no worries. And other times you might have someone that's like, nope, we definitely need to address this situation and get you going the right way. So there's no pressure. There's no worry about where you're at, whether you're doing a good job or not so good job, whatever, right? Everybody's welcome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't even have to become a client. If you want to just come and sit down and talk and get a set of eyes on where you're
second
headed,
opinion,
what you're doing, and second opinion. Yeah, absolutely. We get that a lot.
So no worries, folks. No pressure whatsoever. 888-557-1993. All right, now that I've got off my soapbox here, we'll get back to our conversation of false hope, things that maybe sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking is going along swimmingly or maybe going worse than we think. So we want to be careful of that. So let's talk about a different one here, Anthony. The assumption that I think maybe some of us have, depending on our family situations, that we'll receive an inheritance maybe when our parents or grandparents die, and that might make up for a shortfall in our own planning needs. You ever see that?
I see that a lot. I mean, sometimes it does go down that way, but sometimes it don't. Folks think that they're going to get an inheritance from a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a brother, a sister, and just sometimes it really just does not go down that way.
Yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe medical needs kind of can zap that, right?
Well, yeah, and you just. I don't know how to say it and be nice about it, but people get really, really finicky, I guess, real funny about their money. That sounds funny money, huh? That probably didn't come across right, but they get kind of weird. I mean, I've had clients come in here and their belief is we grew up the rough way,
okay,
and we're not leaving anything to our children. They can make it on their own, just like we made it on our own.
Okay.
And then I have clients that say I can make it on the least amount of money possible, and I want to leave a great inheritance to my children. So I've got them all across the board, up and down, north, south, east, and west, and they're all in between. And it's certainly not anything you want to risk your retirement on, whether your loved one is going to leave you something or not.
Well, and I would put it in the same category as, maybe it's not quite as, the odds are not quite as extravagant, but there's that crazy stat out there that's true that like 27% of Americans think that the lottery in some form or fashion will help them with their retirement. And that's just crazy to me.
I mean, crazy.
The odds of hitting the lottery, as we all know, are just astronomical. So, I would almost, in a way, again, it's kind of a stretch of the imagination, but kind of put that inheritance thing in the same category, folks. If you get an inheritance from a loved one that passes, then just consider that some sort of bonus to your retirement plan that you can use that maybe to pass on for yourself to the next generation or whatever the case is. But certainly using it as a shortfall, overcoming the shortfall is probably not the way you want to view those things when it comes to retirement. You're listening to Retire the Right Way with Anthony Wright, 888-557-1993. Our show today has been kind of all about false hope, making sure that we are not lending more credence to one particular thing than another when it comes to retirement. We started off with the market, saying that yes, it's doing great, but don't make that your sole focus, that you're just going to keep riding the market right now and dumping things into it and making sure that you can squeeze every dime out of it, because it may may not be the right thing, or you may wind up getting yourself overweighted and some sort of pullback or correction happens, and then you're in a bit of a pickle. Then we also talked about, the mindset that $1 million is what you have to have, or 5 million, or whatever that number is. We also talked about making sure that you realize that your income needs may not necessarily drop as a lot of people believe when you get to retirement, because you're going to be out there going and doing things and enjoying yourself. And then, of course, the inheritance that we just talked about. And I think we got time for one more before we'll wrap up False Hope for the day, Anthony. And that's the notion that you'll just somehow make it work. One of those people that just say, well, I'll just figure it out. I've always gotten through life by just figuring it out. Retirement's going to be the same way. That'll get you into a lot of trouble if you just kind of wing it.
Well, it will definitely get you in a lot of trouble. And I had a very wise man tell me one time. He said, if you'll live your life and plan as though you're going to live forever, you think about that for a minute. Live your life and plan like you're going to live forever, like you're going to live to be 120 years old. That puts a different perspective on, well, I'm just going to figure it out and make it work. And I've honestly heard people before say, well, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I'd have planned differently.
I would have done things. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then he said, but he said, you live your life and plan your life like you're going to live forever. But when it comes to the way you treat people and the way you operate and do your business, act like you're going to die tomorrow.
Right.
And the more I thought about that, the more it really, really stuck and made a lot of sense to me. Because if you thought you were going to die tomorrow, guess what? You'd be loving all over your kids. You'd be loving all over your friends, your family, because, man, I'm checking out of here tomorrow, right?
Right.
But if you plan as though you're gonna live forever, now that means a whole different thing when you're like, well, I'll just figure out somehow make it work. Well, when you're in your late 80s and early 90s, you're probably not going to be too much into figuring out how to make it work.
Very good point. We've done all the figuring we want to do when we're in our 80s.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of just want to coast right on through,
Yeah, I hear you.
And I mean, I've got a guy right now that's a very, very good client of mine, and he's 89 years old, and he's playing very well. And I would really encourage those listening today to be sure that you do plan. Don't find yourself, as some of the topics we've been talking about here, don't find yourself getting to the end and saying, well, hopefully I'm going to get an inheritance and that's going to make up the shortfall, or, well, I'll just figure out how it's going to work. And all that stuff is, and I'll tell you a big one, Mark, and then I know we'll wrap it up here because I know we got to get going. But another really big one I see is that income estimate on those 401k statements that people get.
Oh, good point. Mm-hmm.
And they actually think those things are accurate. So, and they'll come in and they'll be like, and they'll show me the 401k statement, and they'll be like, well, look, it says here, when I retire, I'm going to make $85,000 a year. Well, yeah.
I want to see that one.
Yeah. The assumption that income estimate on that 401k statement really, folks, is not accurate. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen one in the 10 years I've been in this business. I don't think I've ever seen one that's accurate. So, don't make some of these mistakes Mark and I've been talking about today and wait until you get to retirement and just try to figure it out, or get to retirement and think that income estimate on that 401k statement is there, or, hey, I'm going to receive an inheritance from grandma or my mother and father and it's going to make up the shortfall. So these are really, really good points, Mark, that you guys brought up today. And I love this particular segment because, to me, you're striking a nerve with somebody, and being me, that, we meet with people every day of the week, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So these are topics that when they come into our office, this is exactly what they're faced with. These are the segments and the concerns that folks that come in my office and sit down and look me in the eye, these are the ones that they have. So great job on bringing this up and talking about it. And I'm really, really thankful that you did, because these are very real concerns that folks need to have. So what I'd like to do today is, if you're out there and you're listening and you're really building a lot of your retirement on some of these things Mark and I have been talking about, I want to make a special offer for you today. Now, what am I going to offer? I'm going to offer this review absolutely free as long as you have at least $100,000 saved for retirement. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be rude. I just can't do something with a goose egg zero. So we got to have a little bit saved for retirement before I can help. So if you've got at least $100,000 saved for retirement, then I can help you. So we're really, really, really passionate about making sure that our clients have all their bases covered in the retirement plan. For instance here, Social Security. Well, at what age should you start taking that benefit, and then how does it fit into your overall income picture? So most people run down to office, Social Security office, turn it on at 62, and they take a huge 25% haircut. Anyway, going to take a look at when do you turn on Social Security? How much risk are you taking in your portfolio? And is that amount of risk appropriate for your age and for the amount of return that you're actually getting? How much are you paying in fees and commissions with your current plan? What about the tax implications of your savings? Is there a way to save money in taxes down the road by planning proactively right now? Do you have an income plan in place to be sure that you aren't in danger of running out of money? Nothing worse than getting to retirement and running out of money. If you end up living 30 or more years in retirement, then you stand a chance of running out of money. Don't let that happen. Do you have a plan to address inflation in future decades as the cost of every single thing you buy continues to go up? Mark, you can't buy anything cheap nowadays. Everything is going up. What about long-term care? Oh, my word, that's through the roof already. But do you have a plan for how you're going to pay for that assisted living or that nursing home if you need it? If leaving a legacy is important to you, have you determined the best way to pass that money to the future generations? Folks, I don't think you want your children and your grandchildren paying 40, 50% in taxes. So we take a look at that legacy planning. Obviously, there is a lot that we have to discuss. And if we found one thing at all, we have found that most people just hasn't planned thoroughly enough to address all these issues, and they get themselves in trouble. So if you've been managing your retirement and you've been doing that all by yourself, and you now realize that there's a lot of these issues that I've mentioned that you really haven't even addressed, or if you're now realizing that your current planner or your current advisor hasn't been helping you think through all these issues thoroughly, by the way, they should be, but not everybody does. So today is your chance to get a true comprehensive plan put in place. So again, keep in mind this review is complimentary if you have at least $100,000 saved for retirement. But folks, you got to keep in mind, you guys have been following me on here and listening to Mark and I for several years now. The calendar fills up very, very quickly. So go ahead, give me a call today, right now. Don't put it off any longer. Don't procrastinate. Call today so I can be sure that I get you a spot reserved on my calendar so we can sit down and address these issues and get them took care of for you. So call me today.
And that number again is 888-557-1993. That is 888-557-1993 to take advantage of that great offer that Anthony Wright just made and come in and see the team at Retirement Specialty Group. 888-557-1993 to get yourself on the appointment calendar, whether you're in Sparta, Crossville, Knoxville, Fairfield, Glades, Chattanooga, wherever. Anthony and the team can certainly help you out. If you can hear our voice, you can certainly sit down and have a conversation with Retirement Specialty Group. 888-557-1993. We'll be back with more after this.
Does the financial advice you've been getting sound like this? Hi, this is Anthony Wright, CEO and Senior Advisor of Retirement Specialty Group. At Retirement Specialty Group, we know it's important to talk with you in a language that you can understand. We believe that the more educated you are about financial investing for retirement, the better decisions you can make to protect your nest egg and enjoy your retirement to the fullest. Straight questions deserve straight answers. Call Retirement Specialty Group today to schedule your financial retirement consultation with one of our advisors. You'll receive a complimentary financial consultation with one of our experts.
Retirement Specialty Group, loving individuals over numbers. Call 888-557-1993. That's 888-557-1993 to schedule your no-obligation complimentary financial consultation today.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on?
Have a question for Anthony? Just shoot us an email at info@retirementspecialtygroup.com. That's info@retirementspecialtygroup.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Retirement Specialty Group.
Well, we're cruising down the home stretch into the fourth quarter, down to the last 2 minutes, whatever you want to go with here on Retire the Right Way. We certainly appreciate you staying tuned into the program today. Marc, Killian alongside of Anthony Wright, founder and CEO at Retirement Specialty Group, serving us here from Knoxville to Chattanooga and all points in between. 888-557-1993 is your number to call to get yourself on the calendar to talk with the team. 888-557-1993. There's no cost, there's no obligation. So give a jingle, get on the calendar, come in, have a cup of coffee, cookie, whatever the case is, and talk about your situation, your specific financial situation. 888-557-1993. And as advertised, it's the mailbag time. We get questions from around the area. We answer some of these here on the program. And if you'd like to submit a question or check out Anthony and the team online, go to retirementspecialtygroup.com. That's retirementspecialtygroup.com. Or check him out on Facebook at Retirement Specialty Group. Just search Retirement Specialty Group there in the Facebook search box. All right, here we go. Mailbag. Steve in Chattanooga. He's got a question for you, Anthony. He says, Anthony, we had some kids later in life than most people do, so they'll be starting college when I'm ready to retire. Should we just make them get student loans instead of trying to come up with the money to pay for tuition once we've hit retirement?
Well, Steve, first of all, thanks for listening to the show. And I love when I hear from my listening audience and I get emails from them, and I love that. So, to one degree, I completely understand what you're asking, Steve. I mean, it's kind of hard to sit here and say, force your kids into student loans. And
Right.
then it's kind of hard to sit here and say, well,
But don't sacrifice your retirement either,
I
right?
start to say, forego your own retirement, pay for everything. That's not really healthy either, right?
Yeah, could come
So-
back to bite you. So
It could come back to bite you. So, probably, look into some Pell Grants, possibly look into in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition. Mark, you've got a daughter in college too. I've had 3 kids now get through college, so and I know that out-of-state tuition is much more expensive than in-state tuition.
yeah, and I think there's been
So-
some changes to some of the way you can put money aside for college funds too. So I'm not exactly sure what those are. I just was reading something a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if that's going to take effect in the new tax program in 2018.
It is.
Yeah,
It
so,
is. Yeah, that's going to take effect in the new 2018 that Congress and the president just passed. But I definitely wouldn't jeopardize my retirement. I mean, that's something that Steve, you and your wife have got to sit down together and just come to a decision. But there's nothing wrong with a student loan either. And at some point in time, maybe they're able to pay them off, and maybe you're able to get low interest. But I would not jeopardize my retirement. I mean, that's something
Yeah, I
that
mean,
you
'cause-
and your wife
exactly,
have
'cause
to live
then-
on the rest of your life.
Yeah, because then you're going to be in that situation, Steve, that unfortunately, the statistics right now is that, college kids coming out of college are not finding the jobs in the fields that they're going in for, so on and so forth. And then
Exactly.
a lot of times kids are even coming back home. Well, now you're in a situation where you've sacrificed your retirement and you got the kids back at home with you. And now I'm talking worst case scenario here, but now you're in a real cyclical problem where you can't help them and they can't help you and everybody's suffering. So you want to make sure that you sit down with a professional and really, we're here on the radio. It's kind of hard to really get in depth here, especially for something as complicated as this. I would say come in, bring in your statements, bring in the stuff that you're looking at, and sit down and have a conversation with the team at Retirement Specialty Group and just say, hey, look, what can we look at? What can we kind of find or try to do? I don't know, Anthony, does that sound like that makes sense?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, you really don't want to jeopardize your retirement. That wouldn't be good for anybody. I'd much rather see a student loan and Steve and his wife live a nice, healthy, comfortable retirement than I had see them suffer through retirement, because as kids, they have a long life ahead of them, and they can always make enough money to pay those loans back.
Yeah.
But,
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, go
I'm
ahead,
with you.
Steve. Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Give him a call. Just go ahead and come on in and just have a chat. What's it going to hurt? You're in where did I say you're at? You're in Chattanooga. So yeah, you can come in and sit down at 888-557-1993. It's got an office there. Convenient. Come by and have a conversation. 888-557-1993. Carl in Crossville. He's in your backyard, Anthony. He says,
All right.
Is it wise for me to own some gold in my portfolio? And if so, do you have a percentage I should look at?
Well, again, Carl, thanks for writing in, and thanks for listening. And I'm a big fan of yes, it is wise for you to own gold, and for more reasons than one. I mean, obviously, Mark and I talked earlier about you want to buy low, sell high. Well, gold and silver right now is low. It does right the opposite of what the stock market does. If the stock market's high, gold and silver is going to be low. So what does that tell you is going to happen as the market corrects? Gold and silver is going to go high. So now is the time to buy. It's kind of like buying. It's kind of like going. And Carl, if you're married, then your wife is like my wife and like Mark's wife. They all love to shop when there's a good sale. Just last weekend, I about had an accident. My wife was like, honey, pull it. What? I thought somebody was going to hit me. And it was Bath and Body had a 75% off sale.
But she smells good, doesn't she?
Well, she does, yeah. And I, pulled in there, and she came out with 3 bags worth of stuff. So that's kind of where gold is at right now. Gold and silver right now is about a 75-80% off. And I don't go out and advertise it a lot because I don't want people coming in here thinking I got a bunch of gold and silver stashed and holding us up at gunpoint in my offices. But we do sell physical gold and physical silver and platinum and copper. We do sell the physical coins. We also sell the older coins, your Morgan silver dollars, your St. Gaudens gold $20 gold pieces. We also sell, just your straight up gold and silver bullion. And I'm half the cost of what people on Fox News run for. You see those guys on there advertising gold and silver, and so we do have that available here. As to is it wise for you? I would say absolutely, no question. Gold is going, and silver is a great, fantastic investment. And it also protects yourself against losing anything in the market, because if the market drops, then it's going to go up. What percentage is appropriate? I kind of say that you want to have 10% of your assets in gold and silver. So I guess, Mark, is it safe to say you cover your assets with gold and silver?
You cover your assets. That's right. We got jokes for days here on Retire the Right Way. Well, great question, Carl. Thank you so much. If you'd like to talk with Anthony more about the gold, go ahead and give him a call. 888-557-1993. 888-557-1993. We're getting tight on time here. We're going to have to go here in a moment. Before we do, though, I got one more, Anthony, that's just going to make you chuckle. And Miss Laura, this is no offense if you're listening. Laura is in Knoxville, and she says, I'm flat convinced that the market's going to crash soon, and I'm ready to put everything I got in cash. What's your thoughts?
Well, well, you're right. That does make you chuckle.
I don't know about if I put everything in cash, Miss Laura.
Yeah,
but...
let's don't overcorrect and run in the ditch on the other side, Laura.
Exactly.
Like a wise man told me once, if you stay in the middle of the road, not run on the ditch on either side, you'll be good.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I wouldn't do 100% in the market. No way, no shape, no form, no fashion. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do 100% in all cash either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've heard me. Obviously, you've been listening to the show, Laura, for quite a while, and you sent an email in. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I'm on the WVLT CBS over there in Knoxville. Hopefully, you've been seeing me on it. And then the folks there in Chattanooga, hopefully they've been seeing me on CBS down there as well. But yeah, I would welcome you to come in and sit down and talk with me. There's some investments that we can do that are safe as cash, but you're going to earn a whole lot more. The problem, Mark, with cash is if you stick $100,000 in a safe today and then you pull it out 5 years from now, that $100,000 isn't going to buy the same thing in 5 years that it buys today.
Yeah, it's still 100,000 too. It didn't go to 105.
No, exactly. And if you're not careful, you find yourself going backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah. You're losing money safely, as we say.
You are. You are. You're losing the money because of inflation, and you're not even keeping up and outpacing inflation. So don't overcorrect, Laura, and run in the ditch on the other side and throw it all into cash. But don't go the other way and throw it all in the market and lose it in the market either. So that's where I use the rule of 100. So assuming you're 70 years old, it would be 100 minus 70. So I would do 70% safe, and I would do 30% in the market, and that would keep you very well balanced and keep your portfolio out of trouble. So thanks for writing in, and it's always good to hear from my listeners. And if you're listening today and you want to send me a question, send it to info@retirementspecialtygroup.com. Or give me a call at 888-557-1993. And Mark, to wrap up the show and end everything on a good positive note, I tell you what, I want to make a special offer today to everybody listening. We're really passionate about our community being well prepared for retirement here, Mark, and we want to extend an opportunity to the listeners right now that will help them be sure that they're well prepared. So what I'm doing is I'm offering a complimentary financial review to those listeners today. And for those that are listening, if you call in the next 15 minutes and you have at least $100,000 saved for retirement, I'm not a miracle worker, can't do something without nothing. So if you've at least got $100,000 saved for retirement, then we will talk about your retirement income needs, what that income is going to come from, how you'll outpace inflation, pay as little as you possibly have to in taxes, make sure that you don't outlive your money. Now, you might say, I don't really have to call in the next 15 minutes. And yes, that's true. You could probably take care of it next week or maybe next month. But here's the deal. We've been coaching people on retirement planning for a decade now. And we've learned that it's really easy to procrastinate and get distracted and put things off. I've learned over the past decade dealing with people, that's the number one problem. They procrastinate, they get distracted, they put it off. So if you don't start the process now, today, there's a very good chance that you're not going to do it at all. So the first coaching that we're going to give to you is to encourage you to take that first step right now. I mean, Mark, imagine if Peyton Manning never took the first step and picked up a football. So you got to take the first step now. So for almost everybody listening, that's going to be the hardest part, is to pick up the phone and take action now. From there, it's really not a painful process. It's really pretty simple. Believe it or not, I'm a fairly nice, easy guy to sit down and talk to. So it's pretty easy past that. So if you're ready to finally get a plan in place, give me a call right now.
All right, and the number to call as we end the program today is 888-557-1993. Take advantage of that offer Anthony Wright just made and call 888-557-1993. Get yourself on that appointment calendar. Have that conversation with the team at Retirement Specialty Group. Anthony and the team have been doing this for quite a while now, and certainly a great resource to tap into here in the Knoxville, Chattanooga, Sparta, Crossville area. Go ahead and give them a call and take advantage of the financial GPS. 888-557-1993. That is 888-557-1993. Anthony, buddy, thanks for being on Retire the Right Way with me this week. As always, every week, I appreciate your time, my friend.
I appreciate you, buddy. You have a fantastic week.
We'll do it all again next week, and we'll maybe even talk Super Bowl predictions. We'll see. Talk to you next time right here on Retire the Right Way.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.